and welcome in to be our guest. And I am delighted. I am so pleased to meet you. We have with us today a mayoral candidate, Barrett Gilbreath. And
Yes,
Barrett, I have seen wonderful things that you have done. Fascinating. It's been fun getting to know you. And we are trying to give our audience all the information that we can so that they are knowledgeable when they go to vote. That's the whole thing. We want you to know for whom you're voting, what these people stand for. So today we want to talk to you a little bit about, number one, why did you decide to run?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I decided to run because I've got 3 small kids. Okay. I've got a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old, and I believe Montgomery is a great place. And I want them to believe it's a great place, and I want them to be proud to call Montgomery home. I meet people all the time, and they ask me where I'm from, and when I say Montgomery, they always ask me why. Why do you still live there? Isn't that place terrible? I don't believe that, but I think we're not going in the right direction. And so I think it's certainly salvageable, and I want my kids, I want all of our kids. This is not about one specific aspect or one specific area of Montgomery. I want every single person who calls Montgomery home to be proud to do so.
I love that, and this is my home. I grew up here.
Right.
I've been here a lot longer than you have, unfortunately or unfortunately. But we were talking about the campaign, and when you do a campaign, you'll have people out there to say, oh, I would never have done that, or I would have done this, or whatever. What I loved that when we were talking about getting down in the gutter with all of the bad things about your opponents, and I thought that your explanation of the way you want to run your campaign resonated with me, and I'd like for you to share that with our audience.
Well, it's important to me because, like I said, I got 3 kids, and at the end of the day, I have to go home at night and say my prayers with my kids and explain to them why I do certain things. I believe Montgomery's divided enough. We've been divided for decades. It's time we put that stuff aside and we have to come together. I have nothing personally against anybody in any administration. My dad always taught me, my dad's a Baptist preacher, and he taught me from the day one that we pray for our leaders, no matter who they are, whether we voted for them or not. And so I continue to do that. My message to my kids and everybody else is that we will focus on the positive aspects of Montgomery. I see no need to try to divide Montgomery even further, simply to gain votes.
I love the fact that you don't want to create more divisive factors than we already have. We have enough, and we'll never make it separated in this town. The only way that this is going to be the home that we're proud to live in and love is going to be if we all work to pull it up together.
We do, and it's going to involve every citizen. It's not just an elected official. We have to develop a level of personal responsibility as opposed to individual apathy.
I agree.
If we can do that as a community, all of us together, we will move this place forward.
I agree with you. You know, you're a grown-up when you look in the mirror and you say there's nobody to blame but me. I'm the sum total of every choice that I have ever made.
I have a t-shirt at home that I wear a lot that my wife bought me, and all it says is 2 lines. Nobody cares, work harder.
I love it.
And you just have to put your pants on and work.
I love it. I love it. I would also like to know, there are a couple of things I do want to bring up. One is, how do you see our relationship with the military in our city?
It's a lot like the relationship we have with our first responders. We currently have a shortage of first responders, and I believe a lot of that is because those people don't know we have their back. The military is the same way. We can't afford to alienate our military partners where they might even think about leaving the river region. This has to be something where they know, without a doubt, we support them in being here, and we will work our tails off to try to help with their educational needs, their housing needs, their occupational needs for the military spouses that come here. They have to know we have their back.
Well, and I think that we are trying to do a whole lot. And health care is another issue.
Absolutely.
Where we can bring more doctors, more health care to our area.
And the VA is great. I mean, we just built a new VA facility out in East Montgomery. So there's one on Perry Hill and one out in East. So the health care for them is a priority as well.
I would like to, when we're talking about the military, and you mentioned, and personally, I love everybody in the military. I think they raise our entire community the work ethic, all of it.
Absolutely.
And we're so grateful. And they're the largest economic impact this city has.
It's not just this city.
And our whole state.
Places like Prattville, Wetumpka,
Yep.
Pike Road. If the military leaves, I love those bedroom communities, but a lot of them are still tied to the military.
Yep.
And so people told me, like, if Montgomery gets a cold, Prattville gets a cold, Wetumpka gets a cold, Pike Road gets a cold, we all suffer. So we can't.
Everybody sneezing.
Absolutely. We can't neglect our military partners.
Well, they're fantastic, and they are the reason we are free.
Absolutely.
So love that. And you know, when we bring that up, then that comes to mind to me, education. Let's talk about what you think about how we can improve the quality of life relative to education.
So it's interesting in Montgomery, right? The education system, the public education system is run by the county. That doesn't mean the city can't be involved. We have to offer our community centers as places for those public school kids that are leaving the county system to come back to when the class day is over, right? And then I do think there's a role for the city in a public pre-K program. That's not been discussed at all, but I think the state has a lot of dollars that can be used for pre-K programs. And if we're going to send these kids and prepare these kids for the MPS system, which is run by the county,
Right.
Why not give them a head start? We can do that as a city. We have community centers. We have all of these churches around that are doing great work in daycares and pre-K programs. Let's help with that. Let's supplement those programs and give these kids the head start they need. And then I think we can do more work as a city in terms of school choice. We've got to start looking at other options like charter schools. I think there's a lot we can do with education. I think we do need to be more cooperative, perhaps, with the county in the way that the programs interact with each other, but understanding the difference between the city government and the school system that's run by the county. We just have to talk. It's all about communication.
I agree with you. And having run businesses, you are prepared. You know what it takes to run something. Well, would you like a final parting word?
Absolutely. I can't thank the citizens of Montgomery enough. The support so far has been phenomenal. And like I said in the very beginning, I've got 3 kids. And I want this place to be, for every citizen in Montgomery, no matter your neighborhood, we want this place for you to be proud to call it home. That's it. That's why I'm doing it.
Well, this is my home. This is your home. Get out and vote and get to know your candidates. And Barrett, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll be right back.